Hey everybody, welcome to Kimmel's Irish Pub. Time for another movie review. Tonight's movie, Another Round. So, I think it's a Danish movie. Should be interesting. It's about 4 high school teachers who experiment and think that, with the idea that if they stay intoxicated, or at a certain level of intoxication, they'll live a better life. Very interesting. 7.8 on IMDb. 38,000 people have rated it so far. That's tremendous. I mean, this has got to be a really good one. And in it is, the only one I know is Mads Mikkelsen. You know who he is. So he's the only name I recognize. And only one other guy has a picture. Thomas Bo Larsen. Everybody else is no picture. Well, there's some. But so then we get into it here a little bit, find out what it's about. Hopefully I don't have to read it, but we'll see. And ultimately, I'll let you know what I think. Stick around. Hey everybody, I want to do a quick check-in here. We're watching Another Round. We're at the 54-minute, 5-second mark. It's an hour and 56 minutes long. So a longer film. We're just under halfway there. But I wanted to catch you up real quick. So Mads Mikkelsen, whatever, is one of the 4 teachers that teach at this high school and are just drifting through life. You know what I mean? They're a little older now, you know, in their 40s. All 4 teachers, I assume. They celebrate one guy's 40th birthday. He looks like he's the youngest. And, you know, they're just having a nice dinner, going out, celebrating. And the guy who just turned 40 is, I think he's the psychology teacher, something like that. Anyway, and they're having a few drinks, and the guy comes up and tells them. Well, let me back up. So Mads Mikkelsen isn't having the best time in his life. He doesn't go out, doesn't talk to people. His wife works nights, so he doesn't see her. The kids aren't listening to him in class, all that kind of stuff. So it's set up like everybody's not living their best life right now. Anyway, the philosophy teacher, or psychology teacher, says there's this Norwegian philosopher, Finn Skarkterud, or whatever, something like that, who suggests that as humans we were born with 0.5% below alcohol level. So we should, in order to be even out, we should be at 0.5, is his suggestion, his philosopher. So they start toying with this idea and talking about it, and Mads Mikkelsen goes ahead and starts to experiment. And so now the 4 of them are experimenting with the fact that they're going to drink during the workday and try and stay at 0.5% alcohol, because evidently we're below. Humans are born like that, and you have to catch up to be at your optimal performance. So a very interesting concept, and this person really did exist. I don't know if this experiment existed yet. I didn't look that far. I just want to look up, and the philosopher really does exist and had made this claim. And so they're also writing a paper around it. So now we've moved on to a little inside bit is, okay, if 0.5 can get you there, and they're starting to see success. Mads Mikkelsen is seeing his kids respond in his class. Same with all the other teachers. His wife is, changing it. It's changing a little bit, here and there. So he says, if it's this, what if we went a little bit higher? So now he wants to experiment with going over 0.5% and see what happens. So you can kind of tell where it's going to lead, but it's a very interesting concept. Now, it is all subtitled, so you have to read the whole thing. That's the only downside. But otherwise, I find it very interesting thus far. There you go. All right, now you're caught up. You know what it's all about. You can kind of get an idea of where it's going to go, but we'll see. If anything interesting happens between now and the end, I'll stop in and let you know, or if I need a break from reading. If not, I'll see you at the end and give you my final thoughts. Stick around though, this is kind of interesting. Hey everybody, we're at the credits of Another Round, and kind of like what I thought was going to happen. Once you get into it, it can change you, I guess. So they start experimenting with alcohol, which is funny. In the beginning, they show like a bunch of teenagers and how they're partying and stuff like that. So I don't know why I just said that, but they do. And so, you know, these 4 teachers get into what they're getting in. They start amping it up a little bit. And then, as you know, some people, it'll take people in different directions. And that's what kind of happens throughout the rest of the movie, without going into greater detail. But it was very interesting. I enjoyed the concept. The acting was hard to tell, you know, because you had to read the whole thing. And one other thing I'll say here, it's definitely not sorry, it's not a comedy. I'm looking at the credits here. It's not a comedy by any stretch of the imagination, and it's not like an American Pie party movie either. It is a drama that gets, and I couldn't think of a better term. It doesn't get like dark, but you know what I mean. It gets that serious tone, and not everything's happy. So, you know, dark is very extreme, I think. Maybe, you know, gray, brown, you know what I mean? Like, so it's, but it's still a good film. Just making you aware it's not a fun drinking film, and stuff like that. So, there you go. That's what I got for you. I think you have enough there to be interested if it's, I think the biggest thing then, and also you have to read all the subtitles unless you speak Danish. I think that's what they were speaking. There you go. Real quick, I thought this was interesting because, you know, it's a different country, obviously a whole different world, different culture, and they were all teachers, and it was really important for them, like I'm sure it is all teachers everywhere, you know, to, you know, help their kids grow and succeed. And that's part of the reason they were drinking, was so they could be better teachers. I mean, that's the concept, right? But I also found one thing that was interesting, that the students seemed to call them by their first names. Like, you know, and I thought that was interesting. But you could really see the care between the teachers and the students. And so much, though, you know, when they all graduate, it's a huge party, everybody's drinking, and just take that in when you see that. And think about what I just said, if you watch this movie all the way through, if you watch this review all the way through. So I thought that was interesting, and it all comes full circle, you know, with the teacher-student relationship. So, interesting. I'd like to learn more about it. But anyway, that's it. I'm rambling. Thanks for tuning in. If it was helpful, love to hear you. What did you think of the film? And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, all that stuff, thank you for tuning in. Kimmel's Irish Pub.